There should be officers down at the bottom. We letting any more in down the bottom?
I think that's everyone in now, mate.
Gonna just double check, and then we'll shut it up, please,
Hello,
mate.
Jay. Hello, Mouse. How are we?
Is anyone down?
All right, CJ, mate. How are we?
I'm good, mate. How are we feeling?
Confident.
That's good. Good.
Thank you, mate.
Can we get the last people
Like the shoes, boys.
Colour vibe. Let's go for red. And we'll also get ourselves police officer to small head. Perfect. We're ready.
Judge went to SC5. Are we all doors locked and everyone's upstairs now?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
There's a few more coming up to the courtroom and then we can shut it down.
Okay. PD, he is PD. This is his second character as a lawyer. He's going to try and bully his way in through the terms of the city. So it'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see. We'll have a good one here. I've just put some time into an effort of that second application. Don't mess it. I'm going to scream. You never know, Elliot. You got to get in. Got to get in. So what's happening here? We have got a court case. I'll just explain him. Our court case is against the two people to my right. They are being done for mass possession of illegal money laundering supplies, mass production of illegal drugs, intent to supply, and possession of stolen items. We found quite a lot of items on them, as you can see here. This was in their warehouse when we raided it.
Was that a nervous one?
So we're looking forward to sorting it out. And we had the search warrant here.
Fucking hell, mate. Where'd you get your suit from?
Which suit?
Cool, we ready to start?
Just one more, mate. Just one more.
Fucking hell.
The door's all locked now. The last person's just coming upstairs. When SC5 comes in, mate, then we're
Okay, no problem.
That's his head, it's not a hat.
Here comes Tiny Tim. Everyone rise for Tiny Tim as he comes in. He knows his stuff. He does, Nathan. He does.
Come here, Tim.
Look at him.
Just here, mate. Can't see it for you.
Oh, there's me son. I'll be coming home, son. Don't worry.
That's not do.
Hey Tim, I'm loving the suit, lad.
What are we ready for the boys overnight?
Yes, now, player.
What?
Right, everyone is in. We're ready to start, Judge.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Harry, welcome in.
Welcome. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome you all to this court hearing today. We have our defendants on the left, and then we obviously have the PD, which you can be seen. The suspects' names, we've got Mr. Mousy Montana, and...
Right, here comes the exciting stuff.
Jay.
Tiny Tim's entrance.
I'd like to welcome the defendant's lawyer.
Yes, Your Honour.
And before we continue, I would just like to ask the defendants if they would like to plead guilty.
No, you're mad, aren't you?
Do you want me to come up and...
Please, non-guilty, Your Honour.
Okay. Before I continue, I have to mention this to the lawyer. Listen up. I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare that you affirm that the evidence I shall give you shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honour.
Okay. You may continue.
That's you, Mr. Roberts.
Okay, so welcome in, everyone. We here today because of Mr. Montana and Mr. Doe. We had intel to believe that the Dell 5 warehouse where they operate from had illegal drugs and also weapons in there. We had shots fired previous on the day. We didn't attend in the daytime from the shots fired because of how busy it was, etc. What then happened was we had a call from the dispatch from an unknown source to say that there was drugs and guns at the premises. We then gathered a warrant together, and then once we gathered a warrant, we then went down to the premises and raided the apartment. Unfortunately, because of the time frame that we had, the warrant was actually left on my desk at home, so the two suspects didn't receive the warrant at the time. However, the warrant was placed. The city of Scora, the warrants, the way they work in the city of Scora is that GC1, GC2 or GC3 are the people that authorize the warrants, and obviously they are then produced when asked for something like this. When we attended the warehouse, we found a large quantity of what looked to be, at the time, guns, drugs. We found heavy machinery on weapons. We also upstairs found bank cards and a map with loads of pinpoints on the maps. We took away from the scene the large quantity of drugs. We also took away 25 watches. We also took away a large box full of money notes. And today we're looking to press charges for mass production of illegal drugs, intent to supply, mass possession of money laundering supplies, and possession of stolen watches. I would like to now ask the defendant to come up and give their case.
Ladies and gentlemen of the courtroom, I'm representing Mousy Montana and Jay Doe today. These gentlemen are both hard-working and reputable members of the community. Jay and Mousy both have very, very reputable sources, and they have given me the opportunity to give and take brilliant character references on their behalf. I've spoken to two members of the community, both agreeing and both declaring that both these gentlemen have given back to the community in many ways other than Jay donating money to Mr. Chow's business to fund him, to take him out of homeless, and he's also given money to help to take people off the street and into apartments. Mousy has changed his life around from being a small boy and growing up in crime to helping Jay form this prop business and his license agreement with Mr. Doe. Upon that, I'm going to be asking as my first witness, I'll be asking Mr. Roberts to come to a stand and answer a few questions.
Mr. Roberts, before we continue, I need to read you something that you must listen to. I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give you shall be the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth.
I do. I should be saying
proceed.
that, but, you know, we'll go with it.
Now, Mr. Roberts, you expressed that you had a warrant already signed and dated by yourself. This is correct.
That's correct.
And you left it at the station. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, for a man of your stature and a man that is of high reputation in the force, was this a normal thing to do, or is this just a sincere lack of judgment that you have just maybe forgot to bring the warrant with yourself?
So obviously normal procedures, we do bring the warrant and obviously give them to the suspects at the time. Obviously, unfortunately for myself, because of the nature of the call, there was guns and stuff on the scene, we made it a priority to head down there as quickly as we can. There was a fair few, obviously. There are sections 19 and potentially 17 of the pace that we could obviously attend quicker for either threats of life or to seize any items. Now, obviously, the warrant was placed and it was unfortunately left on the desk. So, of course, this is not normal procedure for me. I normally bring it with me, but due to the nature of the call being guns and stuff like that, we take it very serious, and that's why it was more of a let's get down there as quickly as we can and prevent any further crime than you know, making sure the paperwork was in the place, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough. And with this call, this anonymous call that's come, what was the nature of it? What was the
So
What was the call that was
I will
given?
read the I will read the notes exactly as it says. Also the dispatch. Let me get it up. So it reads at Del 5 safe house, postcode 176, lots of guns and bricks of weed, and it was from a anonymous person going by a 273. That's all we know.
Okay. Lots of bricks of weed and guns. Now, when you were searching the premises, would you say there is, if you're looking for the outside gate, could you see into the building and know on yourself and your belief that there is weapons and guns inside that building?
From the outside of the building, no, that's correct.
So this call could potentially have been a hoax call to maybe incriminate my clients. Yes or no?
Correct.
And this warrant, okay? So you're going in there under which section?
We were going in there under section 16, section 8 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, section 23 of the Misuse of Drugs Act, and section 47. There were the charges that obviously there were the sections that we were going. And of course, obviously, if needed, then it would be section 17 if there was intent or threat of life, and of course, section 19.
Yeah, section 19, power to seize. Your Honour, to my knowledge, section 17 is a threat to life. With the call that Mr. Roberts has just stated to myself there, that call doesn't say that there's any threat to life. And the warrant was not given to my clients, which is, on police procedure, a copy of the warrant should be given to them. So, potentially, these officers are trespassing. Yes, the section 19, they have gone there with the intent to seize goods. Yeah, it is still valid. The power to seize in the proceeds of crime is still there. But to enter a property unlawfully, in my account, and the jury and everyone here witnessing, is going to be trespassing. Do you not agree, Mr. Roberts?
I would like to step on that actually, because as you've just stated, from looking from the outside, you cannot see what is inside, okay? Now, when we did intend inside, there was actually confirmation that the call was correct. Now, if you're turning around to me and saying that you can't see what's inside from the outside, then this caller may well be inside the building. Now, he may well have called up because he was a hostage in there. He may well have been in there, been threatened and come out, and he's obviously used that. Now, let's be honest, anyone from Del 5 is not going to snitch on their own gang and their own place. So it's got to be someone from the outside that would be making this call. And this outside person would have had to have gone inside the warehouse in order to see it. So would you agree that this could there could be a hostage, could be anything?
I'm not denying that. What I am going to ask you is a further question to yourself. When you arrived on scene, was the doors unlocked?
The gate was unlocked, and when we attended, the shutters also come up with us. There must be sensors on the gates and the on the what's it called, lockers.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honour.
Okay. Mr. Robert,
Yes.
you say you have witnesses.
Obviously, it's my officers that all attended. There was, I believe, 13 armed response units that attended at scene. So they were the witnesses at the time of the raid.
Okay.
And we've all got body cam footage from that. I also have, obviously, all of the photo evidence that I have posted within our bulletin for everyone to see. So if everyone wants to, obviously, take a look at the bulletin that I posted, they will be able to see all of the photos that we have seized and obviously had taken for evidence. At this time, if there's no further questions for me, I'd like to step back and obviously allow the defence to continue.
Okay, I'm more than happy.
Thank you, Your Honour. Ladies and gentlemen, my clients, as everybody knows, are
Nearly,
here
but I've
to
got him.
defend themselves
got him
in
where
the
we
arts
want
of
him to be at the
a
moment.
prop business. Now, I want to re-evaluate and the fact that they had a contract with a certain company in regards to the props that were making in the facility. They had a £200,000 contract in place. which proceeds them to make all props that were found in said premises. Now, my clients are looking for compensation. They have been out of business for 11 days with a total number of staff of under 15. I believe the actual amount is 13 members of staff that have been without work for 11 days. So we are looking to press some compensation for this. Also, to bring 2 members of the community and business owners, there is obviously going to be a slight defamation of character. They are 2 hardworking business men. So obviously this may be an impact on their company and their reputation in the city. That's all for me.
Do you want to bring them up?
If we could get the first defendant, Mousy Montana.
Go up to the stand, Mouse.
Good evening. Before we continue, I must read you something. I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare...
He's saying it, but it's us that are meant to be saying it. It's funny.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honour.
Thank you very much. If we could have...
You got your first character.
That's you.
You want to do your characters first, yeah.
Yes.
Have we got a Mr. Biggs in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I call you up to the stand and represent Mouse in a character reference, please? Your Honour, this is Biggs. Mouse's first reference.
My hearing aids are just broke, so I'm listening through someone's eyes in it, so it's a bit peak.
Mr. Biggs, can you hear me?
Yes, mate.
Okay, I must read you something before we continue. I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth.
This is where it gets exciting, chat. This is where it gets exciting.
All right then, mate.
No, you can come up. You'll be able to talk, stand with me, but you shouldn't need to talk if you don't want to.
Thank you, mate.
What I can do is, Bob, if you want to, where are your...
Go ahead, Mr. Biggs.
So many people. That's fine. You don't have to talk. I'll do it. Not a problem.
What does he want me to do?
Read out your character reference for Mouse that you gave me, NJ.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm listening through someone's eyes. I do apologise. So, Mr. Mouse, I met Mr. Mouse at a young age. He come to me in another city with Jay, looking to get involved in the music industry. I used to own a record label around there. And basically, they was around me doing a few jobs, bits and pieces. They found out about the music video stuff, asked me about getting into that. And then from there, they just went and made their own opportunities and their own business from it in this city. Filming music videos with props, renting out props to music industries and stuff like that.
How would you
It's gonna be a good one.
How would you describe Mr. Mouse?
A kind-hearted individual. He grew up in a shit place, but he's changed his life around in the time that I've known him.
And to your best knowledge, would you say that Mr. Montana is a criminal? Has he been ever involved in some kind of activities, or would you say that he's been a hard-working individual?
Shitbag, but he's not a criminal. He works hard, mate. He provides for his family. He works hard.
Hey, you be good.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Biggs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honour.
Thank you very much.
You got your second one.
Could we have the second person, please?
I believe he's left. He's left the courtroom.
Bloody brilliant.
I believe he's left the courtroom, Your Honour.
I see.
Okay, Mr. Montana,
Yes, boss.
it's fantastic to hear you're such a kind and respectful guy within the community and giving out money away for the goodness of your heart. I've got a question. Do you remember the last time you was arrested?
No, you'll have to jog
You
my
don't?
memory,
Okay.
boss.
So last time we arrested you, let me just get it up 2 secs. So the last time you was arrested was 20 hours previous to us raiding your apartment. You pleaded guilty for robbery of Angelico and received 49 months in prison. This doesn't sound like a kind and respectful community man. If you have a legitimate business making good money, why would you need to commit crime?
I was just a getaway driver, boss, doing a favour.
Just a getaway driver, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I
Mr.
like to help out my friends, and one of my friends needed a favour.
Needed a favour, okay. So you were also arrested for taking a police officer hostage on the 31st of the 12th, 21, and further arrested on the 16th of the 12th, 21, at 23:47 for assaulting an armed officer and pleading guilty to both charges. A respectful and loving community member, you say?
Yeah. Got a bad temper, what can I say? Doesn't mean I'm not a good guy.
Okay. Your Honour, while raiding the apartment, while raiding the warehouse, we found a large amount of plants, marijuana leaves, and packaged drugs, which at the time we were unsure whether they are real or not. We sent this away for testing, and I would like to read out our verdict. Within the large amount of drugs we seized, we found small amounts of marijuana seeds, believed to be purple haze, hidden inside the plant pot. We also found segments of marijuana stash within the packages, which were made to look like large quantities of drugs used in foam and paint, which is maybe where their props have come from. The amount of drugs we found would actually constitute to production of drugs and intent supply, rather than the mass production we initially bailed them for. So, Mr. Montana, with the test results coming back showing a small amount of drugs rather than the initial mass amount of drugs that we originally found, could you care to explain how a reputable growing business would need to have such items on site?
As you said, they were large quantities of foam and paint, which is what we thought they were. We didn't have any idea there was actual drugs involved.
Okay, so what happens, the props that you have, where do they come from? Do you make them on site, or?
We do, yeah, we do, but we've had a little bit of an issue with our staff as of late. There's been some staff members that have come and gone, so me and Jay don't really get our hands dirty with making of the product. We're just the heads of the organisation, do you know what I mean? So
you're saying they could well have been planted from other people?
Could have been planted by other people, or I don't know, maybe your officers. Are all your officers up to scratch?
Absolutely, obviously, law abiding. Have we got interjection there?
Yeah. You previously stated in your statement that the doors were unlocked when entering the premises. Could the person that made the call may have not planted the drugs on my client's props?
Again, obviously, we're just attending on scene with the items there. Like you say, could well have been, but this is why we're trying to get to the bottom of this. Obviously,
was
they
there
were
fingerprints
found.
on the plants?
We didn't find any fingerprints on the plants. No.
But the person could have been wearing gloves.
It could well have been, yes.
Okay, thank you. Please continue.
Your Honour, on the 10th of the 12th, 21, at 21:20, Mr. Montana was arrested and jailed for intent to supply, where my officers found 53 bags of purple haze and a hatchet. He was caught red-handed trying to sell drugs to locals on Dorset Drive. He was then further arrested on the 15th of the 12th at 15th of the 12th, 21, at 21:44, and pleaded guilty for a further 35 months in prison for intent to supply and in possession of illegal drugs. With this in mind, it would be a fair statement to say that Mr. Montana was potentially knows about the growing and the supply of the drugs inside of his warehouse, from the previous charges and the current intent to supply that we'd be trying to push for today.
Can I just say something in my defence?
Yep.
What are we going to do with seeds and tiny bits of marijuana?
So as you can see, obviously, within inside the building, you were making props with plants. You were making marijuana leaves. Obviously, we've got intelligence of how things are certainly made and stuff like that. But I'm sure, obviously, marijuana seeds start from the ground and work your way up. This is why you're having a charge of production of illegal drugs, because it's the starting process, and then obviously you're growing them potentially, and then obviously you're using the growth of your plants and then selling them on the other end. Hence why you've been charged twice in the past for intent to supply and selling to locals with possession of drugs on you. So unless you're getting them from other sources, we've obviously found parts on site, and we may believe that they've obviously come from there.
Well, them dates of when I got caught with them, I weren't in the right place. I was broke. I was in a bad place mentally, you know. Got hit up by a guy, unknown guy. He gave me an opportunity to sell some drugs to get back on my feet, and I got caught.
Okay.
But I can say with all truth that I did not grow that weed.
Okay, so could it well be that if you've been shafting people in and out, could it well be people that were on site, they're growing it behind your back, and then you're taking it and supplying it?
No, the guy I got the weed off has no association with Del 5 in any way, shape or form.
Okay. Your Honour, within the compound we also found 25 Croix watches. We sent these off to Vangelico for checking of authenticity and whether they were illegal or not. Again, I would like to announce the test results. When we're testing the 25 Croixes, 22 of them were actually fake props. 3 of them were matching serial numbers from ones that were reported from Vangelico. Mr. Montana, on the 21st of the 12th, 21 at 16:42, you were caught at Evangelico with 5 other associates holding a knife to a hostage and robbing the store. You were later arrested on the incident after trying to switch in a friend's car, and you crashed. You were then further arrested, as stated, on the 8th of the 1st, roughly 20 hours previous to us raiding your apartment for robbery of Evangelico, after you decamped multiple times and attempted to stab an officer resisting arrest. You again pleaded guilty to both of them charges. So my question to you, Mr. Montana, these stolen watches we have found in the compound, would they be ones from the crimes that you have failed to be caught in, or are they ones that your associates have managed to get away and they've given to you after?
Them watches have nothing to do with me. Every time I've done Evangelico, I've been caught, as you know, them 2 occasions.
What about your other associates on the site, though? Were they have they all been caught as well? So
no, they're just like, do you mean at the jobs?
So as in we've got 2 Evangelicos here. We've got 3 stolen watches on your site that were from Evangelicos. Could it well be that if you've done 2 of them Evangelicos, maybe not all 6 of you have got away, or sorry, not all 6 of you have been caught, and them watches may have come from them jobs? And if so, why are they still on your property if you're a reputable company?
That's impossible, because the people who I'd done them jobs with, I'm not associated with Del 5 also. I was also drafted into those jobs by outside people. Random people.
Okay, we've got an ejection.
Just a question. When he was searched after each Evangelical, was anything found on him relating to the watches?
Bear with me 2 seconds. Involvements. No one's put evidence. Oh, fuck. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, I cannot clarify what he was actually caught with on scene at the time. So I can neither confirm or deny whether he had watches on him when he was arrested.
Okay, so just to confirm, my client, Your Honour, when he was arrested for this, as he stated, as just a getaway driver, he had no connection to these watches. And as previously stated by Mr. Roberts, the door was unlocked with no no forced entry into the premises. And there was potentially, I'm assuming there's no fingerprints relating to my client on those watches?
Again, no.
It's kind of looking like this may be it may be a planted kind of scene. Do you not agree, Mr. Roberts?
Again, obviously, it's their warehouse. If they're not locking the doors, again, of course, you may have people going in and out. We don't know that. We've literally just attended the scene and found what we found, and then obviously prosecuting and trying to gather the evidence needed. But again, would you agree that same with a house, really? If you're the one that's the owner of the house, you make sure that it's locked at all times. There's nothing going in or out, anything that could be stolen out of there or even planted. Would you not agree?
I would make an effort to make sure that everything that I touch is associated with my person. It's my property. Yes.
Okay, so obviously, again, leaving doors, locks unlocked, etc., is making them open to anything of such type, and it would be their responsibility to have whatever's inside there. It is their responsibility.
It's amazing.
Get that out right.
Yeah, I agree. Also, to interject once more regarding the props, I know I've spoken to Mr. Doe on an occasion. He stated that they make with watches, they make their own, but obviously with making props, Your Honour, there is gradings in regards to realism.
Hey, thank you very much for following. Hope you're having a good one.
The quality has to be.
Let me get my
I'm not too
off.
sure where these watches are. My clients have disclosed all information regarding to the making and designing their own products used for props, movies, and music videos.
Okay, perfect. If you bear me 2 seconds, I'm just going to gather my notes and continue.
It's amazing.
Based on the comments. So, of course, obviously, we've seen that these watches are, there's a couple that are stolen. Did mention previous that you like to give out to the community and share money, etc., and obviously give out gifts.
It's amazing.
Were the watches part of your gifts that you give out to the community, Mr. Montana?
No, so what we give back to the community is usually charitable donations. We don't really give gifts.
DK Streams, thank you very much, and Grumpy Butts, welcome in.
Are usually charitable donations of money.
Donations and money, okay. Potential money that may have been from drugs and stuff that we found on site, or from your legitimate business, as you say?
Well, we've got the legitimate business, and then on the side, I do bin man. I'm a bin man, do you know what I mean?
You're a bin man, okay.
I've got money, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Your Honour, my final question to Mr. Montana would be based around the bank cards we found on the desk upstairs. We found a Pacific bank card and a Humane Heist. Upon check-in with both locations, only Pacific bank card was valid. I would like to just ask Mr. Montana how we come across such an item.
I was unaware of this bank card you speak of. I've never seen it before, I'm not going to lie.
Okay, obviously there are yourself and a couple of other people that own the business and on site. I just wanted to ask your opinion of it. Because
can I ask the name on the bank card?
There is a Pacific bank card. I have actually put a picture, if you want to take a look in your eyes, on the bulletin. There is actually a picture of both cards. If you want to take a minute or two to check.
Yeah, just give me 2 secs.
For anyone else that wants to see as well, there is on the bulletin in the main Bluetooth all the pictures that we found, if you want to take a look and refresh yourself on that.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Danny B, welcome in. How are we?
Yeah, can I just ask where this bulletin is, please, boss?
Yep, in the main Bluetooth. It's below announcements.
Okay.
You would have been pinged. Thank you, DK. Appreciate that. I'll just try my best. So I'll just show you as well for the purpose of this. There is the... Oh, let me get it over across to display. So you see the bank cards here?
I've never seen that before in my life.
Never seen that before, no? Okay. So, Your Honour, just to give you some context on the bank cards, on the 27th of the 12th at 21... At 2015, Mr. Montana was part of an armed bank robbery where unfortunately 3 out of 5 suspects burned alive. Mr. Montana was one of the lucky ones who escaped and ended up decamping in their vehicle and being caught on foot. He then pleaded guilty to armed robbery of a bank.
Again, I was a getaway driver drafted in.
Okay,
I did
Your
not
Honour,
enter the premises of the bank at any time.
No further questions for Mr. Montana at the time. I would like to call up Mr. Doe if possible, please.
Perfect. Mr. J. Doe, could you stand, please?
Just giving him a little hints and
Good
stuff.
evening, Your Honour.
Before we continue, I need to read you something. You must listen, please. I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare, affirm, that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honour.
Thank you very much. Mr. Robert, you may continue with your questioning.
Mr. Doe, welcome. When we arrested you at the scene of the raid, we asked what's inside. You claimed there were movie props. Could you elaborate, please?
Elaborate on what we do with this movie prop.
Yes, please.
So in that warehouse,
Victoria coming in with the
manufacture and
gifted.
then
How are we? Welcome in.
we'll get companies
Thank you ever so much.
who
I
do,
hope they didn't hear that
like
in the
video
scene.
editing, films, music videos, and they'll pay us to sell those movie props to them.
Okay, perfect. Obviously you did pass me over a warrant. Sorry, you did pass me over a document with a contract. So I'll get to that after this. If you just spare me a second to grab my notes. Danny B coming in with the sub. Thank you very much. Guys, like honestly, I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to listen here. Everyone's listening. I'm gonna have to turn my alerts off for a minute. Please, no one send any gift right now, please. So, Mr. Doe, it appears also that you've got a little bit of a history yourself, and not quite the perfect role model that they were first saying. So on the 3rd of the 1st at 22 at 3:16 a.m. you were arrested with money rolls, and on you, you had drugs. And of course the money rolls. The officers caught you drug dealing and you pleaded guilty to drug selling charges. Again, on the 4th of the 1st, 22 at 20:34, you're arrested for being in possession of 17 bags of skunk weed and 36 rolls of money notes. The money rolls we found in the warehouse were the same that we found in the warehouse. Are you sure this wasn't part of your criminal activities rather than props?
No, those are past crimes, and I don't really see what they have to do with this case, to be honest.
The reason I bring that up because when you were arrested on scene, you were also found with some money rolls on you. You claimed at the time them to be props. However, they were the same stuff that was inside as well as what you have found previously.
What do you mean? They were the same as what was in the warehouse?
So we got we had rolls of notes that was on your item on your possession at the time you turned up at the raid, and of course when we checked within the props that you said, we found let me just get up the exact amount. So, as you know in the bulletin where I sent the pictures, we found a large box worth of rolls of notes. We took them away for investigation. We found 1.4 million fake rolls of notes, which obviously may well be props or Monopoly, etc. We did, however, find 68 rolls of notes, the same type of notes that you'd been previously arrested for and the notes that you had on you at the time. Can you explain where the rolls may have come from?
So when I got the call, I was currently finishing my shift at the restaurant we own on Legion Square called Frenchie's Restaurant.
Right.
That's our supervisor. That's our manager of the warehouse's own business, but we own 50% of it. And his name's Stephen French. He should be here today, but he got stuck on the train. And I was finishing there, and I don't know what people are paying with. Let's be honest, they pay card, cash, whatever. Like, I don't know, like, what they're paying with. Right,
okay, so obviously you've got money rolls. You're now turning around and potentially saying that you were in possession of what we class as illegal money rolls that you may have got from a shop. So are you now turning around and saying this restaurant potentially takes illegal items or illegal money rolls that we now need to investigate further?
Not illegal money rolls, they just pay in cash. How are we supposed to know if that's illegal or not? We just take cash.
Well, I mean, sir, obviously you've been previously arrested on 2 occasions, as mentioned, that you've been caught with money rolls on you, and obviously your previous charges does state that you were charged for money laundering supplies. You had money laundering supplies on you, which would be classed as the bank rolls of notes. So obviously, again, you were caught with them as you turned up at the scene, and we found some within the warehouse. So if you're turning around to me and saying them rolls of notes you get given to you while doing your job, then are you turning around to saying that you're accepting within a business illegal money laundering supplies?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we accept cash, and if someone pays with illegal money laundering supplies, how am I supposed to know?
Well, I mean, obviously, previously you've been arrested. Like I said, previously you were arrested on the 4th and the 3rd for having these type of money rolls on you, and you pleaded guilty to them charges of money laundering. Now, on the 8th, when we come into the warehouse to raid yourself and Mr. Montana's business, and you were found with them items still on you, are you saying that 4 days after you've been arrested previously and told what they were, you're still accepting these charges? You're still accepting this payment? Knowing full well what they are.
No, because on my past crimes, I admitted I pleaded guilty for having them on me. I'm not scared of my past crimes.
Okay, cool. So
I'm saying on this occasion that you arrested me, I didn't know they were illegal money laundering supplies.
Okay. So again, obviously, sticking around the money rolls that we currently have, if they're all props, how come on the 21st of the 12th, this is also for Mr. Montana here, Mr. Montana will remember, I'm sure, that we raided his apartment on the, let me get it up, 21st of the 12th, we raided his apartment after he posted on Twitter that he was selling rolls. He gave out his apartment number also on Twitter. We was able to get a warrant, and we successfully raided his apartment and found over 300 bundles of notes in his stash, which he later pleaded guilty for and was sentenced to 24 counts of money laundering and also sentenced to 80 months in prison. Again, the same stuff that we found on yourself as you entered and was searched, and the same stuff that was found inside the premises.
I mean, all these crimes are all in the past before we even owned the business, so I don't know why these are relevant.
Just the fact that obviously the past history is still relevant to what we're getting at here, because obviously you've pleaded guilty in the past and you've done your time for the stuff. Then all of a sudden we have found further illegal items that you've been previously arrested for and done your time and hopefully changed, man, within your premises. So you should know what is inside your premises, and if you're still having these illegal items in here, your past history still shows that you're not learning from your previous mistakes, and our justice system clearly isn't working.
We've learned from our past mistakes, mate. That's why we're fucking moving on. We've got 2 businesses now. They're our past crimes, so I don't see why they're getting used against us. You're just trying to paint a picture in my eyes.
Okay, we have a objection from the lawyer, I believe.
Just to confirm, Mr. Roberts, that you're saying that the money found in a premises that my client has openly admitted to the jury in the court today that he had them on him. Are you saying that he is still in the criminal life? Are you saying that he's still, just because he's had that criminal life and he's done that crime, are you saying that then it automatically confirms that he's had these money rolls on his premises, on his person, that they are illegal and not what he's saying from cash that is given to him for the restaurant?
Again, obviously we have types of money within the city, and of course we have legitimate cash. We also have money rolls. We also have bundles of notes. We also have bags of notes and stuff like that. These are all stuff that we've managed to seize off of suspects over the time, and they are relevant to certain crimes. Now, for our intelligence, money rolls of notes would come from things like drug selling, shop robberies, and them type of events, so criminal activities where you would get them type of items from. Obviously, again, like I said, I found these type of items on our suspect at the time of arrest, and we also found them within the warehouse, and of course again we found them at his apartment. So unless the person that he's accepted from the when he's been doing his restaurant stuff, has robbed a shop, gone in, paid for his whatever restaurant. He's then openly accepted that, and then now is in possession of illegal money laundering supplies.
So are you saying that the notes found... So, sorry, did you raid Mr. Doe's apartment, did you say?
We didn't know. We raided Mr. Montana's apartment on the 21st of the 12th after he posted a Twitter announcement to say that he's selling these rolls within the city.
Right. So how is finding something that is not associated with Mr. Doe at all coming back in this instance?
So
Mr. Mouse has already agreed that, you know, the rolls on his self was to do with a getaway driver because of his skills and stuff like that. He never entered the bank or never entered that stuff. How is it relevant with Mr. Doe?
Because Mr. Doe was also found with money rolls on him when he was arrested at the raid scene.
Has Mr. Doe ever been arrested for a bank or robbery as such?
Let me just double check. J Doe. Mr. Doe has been arrested for drug selling. He's also been within that. He was found with money laundering supplies on the 1st of the 3rd. The 3rd of the 1st, 22. So he had money laundering supplies on him, which he pleaded guilty to. Again, on the 4th, he again was drug dealing, found with drug charges and possession of an offensive weapon. He also had 36 rolls of money on him and 17 bags of skunk. He was also, let me just get this one up. He was also arrested on the 6th of the 1st at 12:27 a.m. for robbery of Vangelico. The suspect was seen at Vangelico. He then got into the passenger side of a vehicle and drove off from officers. They eventually crashed and tried to run. However, they were chased on foot and arrested. Jay was found with jewels and a switchblade.
So the money rolls could come. Are you saying that they couldn't come from the restaurant?
I'm asking where they've come from. Now, like I stated previously, that money rolls from our intelligence comes from illegal sources, whether that is drug selling, whether that is from shops or such places. And he was obviously found with these items on him while he was being arrested at the raid. So he was found with them, and he's also got previous history of having them items from doing said crimes. So my question was, where did he get that from? And if he's turning around to me and saying he gets them from a restaurant, then of course that's further incriminating evidence that we need to now prosecute a part of the restaurant.
Okay.
Officer, can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of the warrant here now?
I do. If you go onto the Scora bulletin.
Right. Because when I approached your officer and asked to see the warrant, he said that they never had one because they didn't need to get one because it was a firearms call. Okay,
so obviously, like I explained at the start of the situation, now obviously my officers have maybe told you wrong, but then also they were right in some aspect with that. Now, within Scora, obviously, when something like this comes in, if we've got enough intelligence but there's no threat to life, then of course we need to get a warrant for the place. And that was actually authorised by myself, but unfortunately left on the desk at my office. When we attended, because of such nature of the call, we were heading there under Section 19 and potentially Section 17. As mentioned previously, Section 17 was if there's threat of life. We don't need to attend your premises with a warrant. And the fact that there was a call come in to say that there was drugs and guns inside your premises, as stated previously, that your premises is only able to be accessed by going into the premises, we had potential reason to believe that someone was inside making this call. That's the reason why we acted quickly. That's why the warrant was left at the office, and we tried to attend quick. Maybe my officers wasn't briefed enough to state that. So I apologise, as I've already done previously.
Yeah, can I ask how you sign a warrant off and then forget it?
So what happened was, we'd obviously a couple of hours previous, you had gunshots near your or in your warehouse. My officers never attended that. However, we were gathering intel within your business to find out if we can get a warrant and more evidence to obviously raid your apartment due to the fact there was potential guns, so under section 47 of the Firearms Act. What obviously then happened is about 8:30, I think it was, a call come in to say there was guns and weed on scene. Again, obviously, we've taken that drastic call. I was actually out at the moment at the time of that call coming in, so I gathered everyone back to the police station. We had a quick 5-minute adjourn exactly what was going to happen. We then got all of our armed units to then head down to your warehouse, where we obviously conducted the raid.
Right, can I also add, right? I don't know whether you were still there yourself. I don't know whether you'd already came to the police station, but my workers, when we got took away, 2 of my workers were actually coming to work, and I don't know whether like any of these spoke to them. I don't know what officers are here, but apparently they got turned away at the door by 2 officers. The two officers, the 2 workers walked around the corner and waited, and they said, as the 2 police officers were, can you shut up?
Shut the fuck up, bro.
No.
My alert. Thank you very much, Big Woo, and us coming in with the shawl giving out 4 gifters. Thank you.
The corner, and they heard gunshots coming from the warehouse, whilst there were still armed units inside. So, I think that might be one to be looked into a bit.
Absolutely. Like I say, I believe.
Roberts, may I just stop you? I believe the lawyer had something to say.
Yep, lawyer.
No, it's fine. I'll ask my questions to Mr. Roberts later. I'll let him continue
Perfect.
this time.
Thank you very much. Continue.
Of course, we'll look into to find out exactly what's gone on there. Because it was an active crime scene, and they're obviously still gathering all of the intelligence we needed and all of the evidence. Of course, they would have been turned away with officers still present, because CID and stuff like that would be taking fingerprints. They would, or trying to get fingerprints. They'd also be trying to get other. Gather all the evidence we need to make sure we get this claim. And that's probably why when you attended a little while later on, your warehouse was, gutted, so to speak.
No, but that doesn't still answer my question. Why did they hear gunshots come from that warehouse while there were still officers in the compound? It came from inside that warehouse.
Yep,
and that could explain the gun residue that was in there that you're trying to say was our gun residue, when it clearly wasn't.
So obviously, I'd have to go back through our dispatch system to confirm exactly when the call come in, but 100% a gunshot call was in before we raided that apartment.
Not the call, I'm on about the actual residue, like the gunshot. They heard the gunshots themselves.
Yep. Now, gunshot residue, obviously, will come back to people. All of our officers do sign out for everything they have, so any bullet casings found on the floor, etc., will actually come back to the relevant officer. So if we don't find anything other than them, then of course, but at this moment in time, we're not pushing for any gunshots or anything like that. We literally have had a call previous for gunshots. I don't know whether it had been cleared up or what, but we never attended the scene at the time because there was a lack of armed units available. So we monitored the area, and that's where the warrant was then placed, ready for this evening to make the warrant, to make the raid. However, because a further call come in to say that there were guns and there was drugs on scene, then we pushed it a little bit earlier and headed down there quicker.
So what you're saying, there should be 2 traces of gun residue then, because if one came in before earlier in the day,
correct,
and then so there should be 2 traces. How many were found at the scene then?
There was none found at the scene at the time and afterwards. And if I'm honest, this is the first time that you've mentioned to me the second one, and I don't believe my officers found the first one from what they've seen. So whether there was a tsunami that come and washed it out, or there was the evidence that on scene was cleared after the shots had been taken, if you see what I'm saying. Whoever was on scene at the time may well have cleared their tracks because we were unable to get there in time.
Yeah, because I was told at the scene that gun residue was found. I even got told then I was getting interrogated as well.
Okay, then unfortunately, my officer that was, I believe that was Mr. Luke Hop. He unfortunately isn't here today due to passport control and stuff like that. Wasn't allowing him to be here in time. But of course, again, if there was such charges that we would be pushing, I would be having you up in court for gunshot charges. But again, like I say, I'm not pushing for anything like that because there was no evidence to prove yourself or anyone that was involved in crime. Now again, we did find guns and stuff like that in your premises, however they were later checked and they were props as you stated. So I've got no reason to believe you have any doing with guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
okay,
fine.
Mr. Doe, just finally, could you tell us a little bit more about the contract you have with King's Records, please?
So,
Here we go,
the contract we have with King's Records,
Jeff.
we basically make the props for those.
Non-British guy,
and they
welcome in,
pay
how are
us
we?
£50,000 4 times a year, which is equal in the contract to be 200,000. At can't remember off the top of my head. Can I just check this here?
Absolutely, go for it.
So we give to
I need to get
those
some more drink, chat. I need to get some more drink.
AK-47 models,
Hi,
which
Jay, thank you
is
very much for the follow.
1,200 per piece, which would equal £12,000. We give them
No worries.
one golden
This is the
minigun,
exciting bit.
which would
He's
come
talking
to
about what he gives you.
£15,000. We have big bagged cannabis. 200 of those at £100 a piece would be £20,000. 10 fake Rolexes at 150 a piece would be 1,500. 10 chains at 75 per piece, which would be £750. 10 fake passports, well, prop passports, at 30 a piece, which would be £300. This total value is the 50,000, so we give that to them 4 times a year, which adds up to 200,000.
Perfect. And when was this contract started?
The contract was in effect at the 7th of January 2022.
Perfect. Okay, and it did it say on there something about a party for them on the 12th? Was that correct?
Yeah, that's their event, so that's basically when that was their shoot that they wanted the props for.
Perfect. Okay, Your Honour, I don't believe I have any further questions for Mr. Doe at this time. I would like to bring up a witness from myself, if possible.
Thank you very much. Continue.
Thank you, Your Honour.
Okay, I would like to call up a Ricky Bagwell, please.
Mr. Bagwell,
Yes.
before we continue, I must read you something, and you must listen. I do solemnly and sincerely and truly declare, affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Indeed, Your Honour.
Okay, please continue.
Okay, Mr. Bagwell, could you identify yourself, who you are and who you work for, please?
Yeah. So, Ricky Bagwell, one of the Bagwell twins of the city. I am one of the co-owners of Pizza This and also head of security and also head of entertainment for the King's Records and the King's Club.
Perfect. I believe you have handed us a document today, which for everyone in their eyes, if they want to head over to the Bluetooth, go to Scora City Bulletin, and they will see the document I've just put. I'll give a second or two for you to catch up with your eyes, and I'll continue. So, chat, what we're having, so you can see as well, we have a temporary closure of King's Records, which was signed by Bailey Bagwell, the CEO of King's Records, to say they were shut from the 24th of the 12th, 21, to the 14th of the 1st, 2022. Now we'll continue. Mr. Bagwell, now I believe everyone's eyes have caught up. You've handed me what does this look like? A temporary closure of King's Records dated the Friday the 24th of December 2021.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, could you state exactly what this temporary closure is, please?
It's a temporary closure just to let all the staff, because we had a pretty big. I'm pretty sure it was around about the 20th of December where we had all the staff in that were free that day, and we had a little like sit together, like a wee drink and stuff like that at the club, and we've decided to shut it for the Christmas and festive period, and Bailey, who is the CEO of King's Records, has taken a wee holiday with her recently married husband, Scott Yoroslav. So they are away on holiday right now, and they won't be back until the 14th of January. So this is just a little closure that Bailey has handed over to the city
very good, thank
to
you.
let them know that it will
Spatch.
be closed up until then.
Okay, cool. So, obviously, it was dated that Wednesday, the 22nd of December. Yes, go for it.
May I just pause you? We've got a interruption from the lawyer.
Yep, go for it.
Why was I not given a copy of this?
Because I was handed this literally about 1 hour before this whole thing happened.
And I'm assuming my clients have never seen this contract before. This document.
We never seen it either until that's why I brought him to the stand. And this is why the further questions we'll be having to find out exactly what's going on with this.
Just
I was approached. So what happened was I was approached when the whole announcement went out from the court. When I posted the contract and stuff like that, I was approached by King's Records in the city that they were quite concerned that their name was being branded with such things. They then handed me about an hour previous to this a letter dating that they were on holiday and they do not return until the 14th of the 1st of 2022.
But what you're forgetting, this is 4 times. This is 4 times a year. It might not be that exact date, but this is 4 different dates. We make these drop-offs.
Again, this is why the questioning will be come out. Obviously, my question firstly to Mr. Bagwell. So, is between the dates of the 24th of 12th to the 14th of the 1st, was there any activity happening with King's Records?
No, King's Records was closed.
Okay, so the next question then for Mr. Doe and for, of course, Mr. Montana. The 14th of the 1st, 22, is apparently when Mrs. Bagwell will be returning from her duties.
Okay.
So, obviously, you have a contract stating that there was be a party for King's Records on the 12th of the 1st, which wouldn't add up with the closure record that is currently for Mrs. Bagwell that was stated.
Well, I never... Go on, sorry.
No. I'm just trying to picture what's going on here because obviously I've just been handed this. This is why it's been posted, and of course it was first of I heard about it in the same. I'm sure that maybe you've heard about it.
Excuse me. Do you mind if I say something quickly? Because this is mental.
Oh, sorry. Who's that? Who's talking? Sorry,
Biggs, mate.
Go on.
Basically, I don't know if Mr. Ricky's memories took a loss here, but me and him and Bailey had a massive meeting about me renting the place out a few times a week, doing business down there, and then obviously have subcontracted that to Jay. And obviously, I don't understand why now they're acting like we've not been talking about dates and things about them being closed. Yes, I understand they've had a temporary foreclosure, but at the same time, I still had meetings with them before they closed, arranging for me to have it on a Thursday night and then potentially more nights, which is what the dates Mr. Day set in stone. Mr. J set in stone in his documents.
So just confirm, you had Wednesday the 12th.
The dates are unconfirmed. These may be just what Jay's speculating as dates and contracts put forward. But the fact of the matter still stands. We did have dealings with Kings, and I did subcontract it to Jay for props, etc., for me doing music videos. I don't know if Mr. Ricky's memory's lost, but I'm sure he can recall now that we did have meetings about me producing music down there and getting rappers in to film music videos. So regardless of the dates, like Jay was putting them forward on a contract. As you can see on the bottom of the contract, it's not been signed. So he's not saying he's had the personal meetings with him. he's doing them on the side of the basis I'm going to be renting it out from them. So I don't understand why no one's got a memory of me having these meetings.
I can answer that easily.
Mr. Bagwell, please elaborate, because obviously we're currently, this is the first time we've all seen this.
Of course. So we can elaborate that me and Bailey have had meetings with Mr. Briggs because he does want to have uses of the record label and stuff, but nothing was signed for, nothing was paid for. There was
But we still
no.
had the conversations, so it's future.
There's still conversations, but has it been paid for? Has there been a signature? No. We've not had contracts being given to us. So
of course, but we
before,
didn't have meetings, no.
Yeah, we had meetings, but that doesn't matter.
We had these meetings.
Word of mouth doesn't matter.
It does to me because I'm a businessman, so I'm preparing for the future.
Well, if you're a businessman, then you should be signing for if you want to. There needs to be money and a signature to make it legit.
If you recall, I had a Bluetooth message saying you're going to be leaving the city for a few weeks.
No, so I wasn't leaving the city. I wasn't leaving the city for a few weeks. Bailey was leaving the city for a few weeks, so I was free whenever.
I got told. I didn't get told that if I need to provide it to the court, I can provide it to the court. I was told if I could wait a few weeks, that'd be perfect. And I said that's fine. I'll get things prepared on my end, which is why I've subcontracted Jay.
Mm-hmm. So you were told to wait a few weeks. So why was our party organised when this was closed?
Objection.
It's subcontracting for the future. We're planning on our behalf. It's just subcontract. It's a speculation of me and Jay pushing the meeting we had. My point of the matter is not to prove who's innocent or.
This is good. This is good. It's getting spicy now. This got spicy. I left this right to the end just for everyone's opinions.
It comes down to the point of where it doesn't matter that I've gone and then subcontracted Jay between our business meetings. It's what businessmen do. Just because you're not going to be in the city, I'm still preparing it on my end.
Yeah, but
I know. They've literally got. We've got it perfect, mate.
I've had several meetings.
I got it handed to it literally before we started. I need to get a hydrate.
Doesn't mean that thing is set in stone. It's set in stone when.
That's just Jay being smart. Doesn't that prove what kind of a good person they are in business and how?
Can I just stop you there? We've got an objection from the lawyer, please.
No.
I'm objecting to the fact that my clients have never seen this letter of the owner from the Kings. Our letter of intent was Mr. Biggs here for making sure that we were in preparation for making props for his potential agreement with the witness here.
So can I just object there? The contract states that they're making props for King's Records, not for Biggs.
Yeah, because he's preparing
it's a subcontract, isn't it?
So
does it state in there that it is subcontracted to Biggs via King's Records?
Music props, mate. I do rappers and
No. But what I'm saying is, all I'm going off for the matter of the court, there was a letter handed to us to say that. A document or a contract was handed to us to state that they are making props for King's Records for a party on the 14th of the 1st,
You're going to judge, you as the commander of the police are going to judge a man for being very formal and using his initiative.
No. We're here. We're here in front of the court, so it's a what's the word? Non-biased, is that the word? Non-biased opinion by the judge himself. He will of course make that decision. But that's why we're here in court today, to make sure we get everyone's point of view across and to find out exactly what's gone on and what's happened and the legal aspect behind it. Now obviously
if we're talking legal and law, even if it's a subcontractor, they're still the main company, so all letters would be with them. It would be
okay. That's fine. So if there was
we can't tell the future, and I can't prove that I'm gonna do that. This would be the fact of the matter in the future. But the fact in my mind was, once Kings had come back into the city, I was going to introduce them to Jay and say, look, this is the guy that's going to be doing the videos, etc., etc. So I would like to say what would or wouldn't have happened in the future.
So I would like to know then, if the document states that they are doing them for the party of that was happening on the 12th, and it was agreed on the 7th. Who agreed that? Because according to King's Records,
messages I have, they're going to be.
But where does it state that on the document? Where does it state that on the document? He has given us, as police, his alibi to say why he's got them type of things in his apartments or in his warehouse.
It's not just for Kings, is it? That's just one of his contracts.
Well, that was his whole alibi.
For me every week.
That was his whole alibi at the time. That was what it was for. So we asked what these props are for, and he stated in this courtroom today that them props were being made for King's Records, and they were having a party on the 14th of the 1st. That's what he stated, and it's also in the document.
Yes,
so
because
my
that's the
question
date
is,
that-
if that's the
that code-
case, why is the fact that King's Record is still shut until the 14th of the 1st, and they've been shut since the 24th with no correspondence to anyone?
Well, I have a Bluetooth
Okay.
message that says different to that. And on top of that, these are when that comes back in, the 2-week period that they gave me coerce with them being back in the city for me to bring these contracts for them. So Jay's just simply prepared in advance. So he's just doing what he knows he's doing. He knows what work. I've told him I've got work. As soon as Kings open up, he's got work. So he's pre-prepared for everything. And you've asked him what his alibi is. He's giving you that to prove what he does for work.
Right, Your Honour, my clients have not seen this agreement that was obviously handed to the police by the owner of King's Record. It's a subcontract. My clients have spoke to the gentleman behind me and have arranged to use the premises and use the King's Record name, as they are the more reputable company. I think this should not be accounted into our case, and to do it as these two never had a conversation with this gentleman front. We only had a conversation with these. It may be a typo error on Mr. J's part to not disclose the information that it was a subcontract with another third member party. That's all from me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honour. I believe we have extinguished all of our questions regarding the matter. I don't believe I have any further questions for the suspects or my witness.
Thank you very much.
I would like to ask Mr. Roberts a few more questions.
No problem.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Roberts, how good are your officers working with you? How would you say they are?
We train them up to a decent standard, and obviously would like to hope that they follow that standard at all times. And obviously any issues are normally dealt with quite rapidly and moved on from it.
Okay. So in your words, you have officers that train other officers to a high standard of policing. Yes,
that's correct. Yep.
So when my clients were on scene, why was they placed in cuffs, unlawfully detained for approximately 10 minutes? Why was that?
So as obviously previously mentioned, we were going there with a warrant. There must have been some miscommunication between my officers. As I said, we started that we were going to go there with a warrant, and then of course we ended up going a little bit sooner than expected due to the nature of the call that come in. And that was the whole reason why maybe my officers at the front wasn't briefed as well as the officers that were inside doing their job correctly. So again, like I say, from a police procedure point of view, I can only apologise that the correct wording was not said across at the time, or the correct procedure, I should say.
Yeah. So just for the knowledge, you as a commanding officer, you know that detaining someone, and I believe when I was watching over the gentleman's body cam, the officer's body cam, he, and I quote, it was, "I'm detaining you for questioning." Now, you as an officer should know that you can't detain someone for questioning. What is the correct procedure to ask someone questions? What do you do?
Correct. Like I said, they should have been arrested on scene straight away and placed in cuffs. Now, of course, like I said to you, the correct wording of the incident obviously was a mismatch. And later, 10 minutes later, once we found out exactly the situation, my GC3, my third in command, actually went and dealt with the situation correctly, which he was further arrested at the time.
Now, GC3, I've heard some great things from yourself about this gentleman, and clearly he's a good officer.
Thank you.
Good officers
Appreciate
make
that.
mistakes, and my clients wasn't given their rights. They wasn't cautioned. So up until the point of questioning, none of their statements should have been used in evidence. Your Honour, you know that even in the caution it says anything you do say may be given evidence, but they never got the key part of the arrest, which is their caution. So, are my clients arrested? Are they detained? You know, are they still arrested? Are they detained? I don't believe that they've been given their rights up until any point, even when into the critical part of a whole case that they are getting interviewed by senior members of the police force, that just before they click that tape, they need to be given their rights. Would you agree, Mr. Roberts?
That's correct.
Now, on to the point of your officers while we're speaking about it. Everyone in this jury knows that response time is brilliant when in the police.
Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Would you agree that the police response time is adequate in the city?
On most situations with the priority, I agree. The response time is pretty good in the city.
That's good. That's good. So, when you stated before, when you were to my clients, you had a call for shots fired at the premises. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, to my knowledge, shots fired would mean a greater threat to life than most scenarios. Would you agree?
Correct.
And you stated previously that no officers attended that shots fired and potentially that threat to life at that premises.
That's correct. And I also stated the reason why.
Which was?
There was not enough armed officers on duty at the time to head to that call. So rather than place my officer's life at risk, they observed from a distance, but unable to gather enough evidence to prosecute anyone of such crime at the time.
So they observed shots fired from a distance.
They monitored anything going in or out, but obviously got there too late and didn't actually see anyone going in or out of the premises. So whether that was they'd made way on foot, I'm not sure. But like I say, my officers, if we do not have enough officers on duty that are trained and skilled in the department of shots fired, there would be no way that I would put my officers at risk and potential risk their life to attend an incident like that.
Okay, so for everyone here, just to know that if there is officers not available and you're being shot at, they're not going to attend it. They're not going to come. They're not going to help you. That's, in my opinion, Your Honour, that's a bold statement from the officer here, that just because he doesn't feel that they need to put his officers in, which I completely agree with. I wouldn't want to put myself in a scenario. I'm not firearms trained. Observing from a distance when potentially someone is bleeding to death from a shot wound. Would that happen to my family if I was told that my son or my father or brother or whatever it may be was left to die potentially by a fatal wound because the police were observing me from a distance?
As Your Honour, as you know, I could call a paramedic or any trained doctor up here. There is something in the city. They normally use DRAB, which is actually, I think there's a paramedic over here. They normally use DRAB as the first response to any patient, and the response DRAB, D is for danger. You check for any dangers that are currently out before. Then you check for response. Then airways and breathing. Now the danger is shots fired. Now if we were to put ourselves into that position of danger without having the correct equipment and training, then we're causing further danger to ourselves and the public. Because what would happen then is that if I was to send my officers into the situation unarmed, untrained, they may end up getting shot, they may end up dying. Then all of a sudden we've gone from having 10 or 5 to 10 officers in the city that are trained for heading to shop robberies or heading for general fights or anything like that, or stabs, anything that doesn't involve a gun, Your Honour. We've now just put them into a position where they potentially could get shot, and if they do get shot, we've then gone from 5 or 10 officers to 0 officers in the city, and then everyone is put at risk rather than the isolated incident. So until that incident has calmed down and we either have enough officers on scene to be able to deal with it, then obviously they will have to remain at a distance for their own safety and the danger of the public.
It's a very smart answer. It's very easy. He's correct. He is correct. I wouldn't want to be putting
Delphi, let's go. Stop waffling.
I wouldn't want to be putting officers in. I wouldn't want officers putting their lives in danger. They need to go to their families. I completely agree. But speaking as a firearm trained officer yourself, would you best believe that I'm pretty sure all officers that come in are issued with a taser? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, would you say if there's 10 officers on duty and there's 5 firearmed officers and there's 5 just Thames round officers, and let's say a shots fired comes in and there's 10 officers at a scene, would you leave maybe the taser round officers to focus on a a knife wielding subject, or would you leave all firearms officers on that one and leave a shots fired? Which is your priority, ending knife crime or getting rid of all firearm crime in the city?
So shots fired, of course, comes above the knife crime because of the threat to life. However, obviously, if my officers were to attend, I would leave the 5 officers, or even leave 3 or 4 officers on the knife scene, and the armed officers would then head towards the shots fired. Depending, well, it all depends on the situation at hand. If the knife crime and he's got his knife to the throat and he's actually stabbing people, then of course we have to deal with the threat there and then as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sending armed officers. Unarmed officers into a scene, so they would end up waiting for armed officers. But unfortunately, at the time of the shots fired, there was not enough armed officers to deal with it efficiently and safely.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I was asking the question because clearly, I don't want to be stabbed. You know, I'm a strong man, but I'm not I can't take a knife to the gut. It's not going to do much very well. But you know, for my clients, for their point of view, they've had someone who's potentially may have shot at their business, and no officers have came, which is quite worrying. No one even came to check if they were all right. No one even checked on the premises. So your officer stayed 100 meters away, observing, saw nothing, and didn't even do a check on the building. Didn't even go there. How long would you say that they were on scene for to double check to make sure this scene is clear before moving on, or was it just a quick drive by, didn't see anything, and then just left?
So my CID officers would have monitored the area for a considerable time. Unfortunately, like I say, I would normally have the CID officer with me today, but unfortunately, due to border control, unable to get in today.
Yeah. Okay. I just obviously that this whole, from my point of view, it's going to be around this warrant, Your Honour. I understand policing, it's hard, it's stressful, and Mr. Roberts had to make a quick decision to get this warrant and rush to this premises to seize this firearms and this blocks of weed that was seen by someone that we don't know because it was an anonymous call. We don't know who that is. Damn it, that is so annoying. But the warrant was still not given to my clients. They were still not given this copy of the warrant shown to them. They were detained unlawfully, not given their rights by an officer up until the point of leaving. And I can ask my clients, up until this point, have you still been read your caution by any officer regarding this case?
No.
Well, now is that poor planning on the police, or is that the just being lazy? And I'm not saying Mr. Roberts is lazy, because I know he works very hard to keep everybody at this back of the room safe. But, Your Honour, it's still unlawful. It's an unlawful detainment, and you said you're under arrest, but at what point do they get placed in cuffs? And then it becomes that they just put cuffs on anyone. Can they put cuffs on Tim and say he's under arrest without giving him a reason? It's a little bit shoddy, and it's a little bit performance. The warrant, you know, they didn't have the warrant at premises. It could be trespassing on private property. They can use Section 19 for power of seizure in connection to organised crime. They can do that. There's no threat to life. There was nothing in that anonymous call, Your Honour, that stated that there was shots fired. There was no threat to life there. Someone's seen weed. Someone's seen something that they may potentially not even seen. It's an anonymous call. We don't know who's done it, Your Honour. No further questions, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you very much. Mr. Roberts, have you got any questions?
None at this time, Your Honour.
Okay. Current time is 22:11. I'm going to bring this case to a close. I'm going to give a 5-minute break for everyone. I'm going to come with my verdict.
Thank God I was getting crap in my fucking legs. Jesus Christ. Oh, my arse cheeks. Hurry
up and make a decision, man. Did you get any food?
No, but I don't feel so good, son.
Oh, I'm needing food, man. Yeah, I don't know for you. Yeah, take a donut. Nom nom. Any food?
Well, that was quite good.
Oh shit! Grams the seizuring. Grams the
They
seizuring.
were being questioned. That's the only thing. They were being questioned.
I'm gonna fix my voice.
Scan the boys.
Can I just have you over the side?
What's wrong, Grams? Can we get someone chest over here? Someone having a seizure.
We've had a bit of an
Just to
issue.
let you know, someone's just sent someone off to jail for 600 months.
Right. Okay.
It was been pending a court case, and they've kind of just bypassed the court case and sent it.
Yeah, I mean that's enough out of you, son.
Right. Okay. Obviously, he'll need to be unjailed then, won't he?
That's fine.
Do you know the ID?
Unknown at the minute, but I can get an officer to go up there and get it sorted.
Do you want me
mate.
to go up there?
It's I don't know if you
GC2,
have
I
the
made it
power
through
of
border
it.
control, mate.
It's / unjail and then the plane ticket.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want me to go?
Okay,
I'll happily go up there and.
Just reschedule him for the correct amount. Obviously, if he's reducing. Obviously, if he's having a court case but he's not willing to attend, then obviously the 120 months wouldn't be. You know, we could potentially do more, but that would need to be passed through by the judge and the lawyers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, mate.
Cool,
Sorry
he's
about
back. Let's get back in.
that. Hey, GC2, I made it out of there.
Perfect, good man. I'll speak to you shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, order!
Yeah, the seizure.
No, it's fine. I was just. The Miss Justice is getting to me. The Miss Justice is really
Hello.
getting to me.
I've left one at home.
Come here, please be seated.
Medi, I'm diabetic. I've left me
Some attention, please. I'm about to pass out.
I'm a diabetic. Could I get some?
I'm getting fucking flustered there, Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Can we listen to the judge, please?
Right at the end, it was kind of. He's got his way back again.
I'm a diabetic. Can I get some insulin?
That's alright.
Medic, I've been punched a few times. Jab straight in my skull.
Can you boys take this outside, please, not in the middle of the ring?
I don't have any insulin on me, you have to go to hospital.
Come on, Medi. Don't be like that, man.
Why would I bring insulin to
Ladies and gentlemen,
why would I
order,
bring
please.
insulin to a courtroom? You
Oi,
know?
shush.
I'm a medic. I don't mind waiting.
Right, everybody, listen up, please. I have came to my verdict
Big
of
takes
this
you.
case.
Here we go. What's the verdict?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I request silence?
I go and whisper, you fucking idiot.
I think these people still returning, Your Honour.
There's always one.
Happened.
Tiny Tim's trying to sell drugs, I think, or being sold drugs.
I'm looking at someone's X-ray scan.
Tony the fucking. You can't sell drugs to a little kid, you know.
Ah, you can. Just tell Mr. Sweetie.
Might need to get your officers to try and bring them back in if possible.
Yeah, can we make sure they're either back in or they're left premises, please?
Right, can we just make sure you guys take a seat, please? And if not, can you just make sure there's a clear entrance?
Is everybody ready? Thank you very much. I've come to the verdict of my decision of this case. I have weighed both evidence between the police and the defendant.
Are we ready?
I understand that Mr. Mouse Montana and Mr. Jazo have had a previous convictions of multiple offences. However, I don't believe that the offences they have committed previously are linked to what has happened.
Or behave yourself.
The hearing today, we have looked at some shots being fired. I've looked at the evidence, and as you've said, Mr. Roberts, the guns were replicas. So to me, it doesn't add up. Everything else I've weighed up, and I've just considered, to be honest, that it just doesn't weigh in the PD's side. Therefore,
Yes. Free the boys.
I find Mr. Mousy Montana and Mr. Jado non-guilty of all offences.
Come
No way has that just happened.
Love it, go on.
Come on.
Thank you, police.
Shit!
What do you think is shit?
Please! Thank you!
Please!
Have everyone's attention.
This fucking ring.
Yes, the boy.
Try your eyes, mate.
I mean, like
You try your best, but you don't succeed.
Right, if you don't be quiet,
You know,
you'll be
that's a
removed
little
from the
bit
court to
fucked.
judge and ask for quiet.
Find stuff on you.
Come on, silence everyone. Come on. Stop the clapping. Let's wait for the final. Let's wait for it.
Gentlemen,
How you doing, Ryan? Nice to see you. It was a good
as
court
Mr.
case regardless,
Montana and Mr. Jadu
which
are
is the main
currently
thing.
out on a bail condition, I would ask for that to be revoked.
Let's go!
Is it like the boys?
Why?
I understand that there's going to be a bit of animosity in the air. However, my decision is non-biased.
I don't know
and
how
I've looked
much.
at each side of evidence.
It was good. Either way, we enjoyed
I would
ourselves.
like to bring
That was the
this
main
court
thing.
to a closure and thank everyone for attending.
What the fuck did that ever mean if I never...
Fuck the police coming
Go
straight
on the
from the
boys!
underground.
Hey, go on the boys!
Absolute
That's right,
mental.
boys. Ah, in a bit, your helmet. Fuck off. You dirty grass.
Unbelievable.
After pie, where's the after pie, boys?
Your Honour.
Back to Biggs, get to Biggs.
Your Honour, I have a question, Your Honour.
Thanks for a messy one, is it?
Excuse me, can I have silence, please? I need to ask.
Walking into me, like.
1 second, guys.
Order, please.
Your Honour, my clients have been out of work for 11 days. They've had their business shut down. They've stopped working. They've had to work the bin jobs. They've had to do jobs that some may find degrading for two reputable businessmen. Is there any chance that we can get some compensation for the matter of fact that they've had staff that have been off work, they've been unlawfully detained with cuff marks, and they was never given their rights? Is it possible that we can have some cash settlement agreed by all parties, by police, judge, and clients?
Your Honour, I'd like to object on that situation. The compensation, I don't feel would be fair. The fact that the contract, the whole reason behind this prop situation, the contract stated that they would be given props to King's Records for a party on the 12th of the 1st, and the King's Record was not in operation for these times, so there was no way that they would be able to use these props or need to make any props for this situation.
Doesn't understand the law or not.
They made a loss of profits because of you, that's why.
That's all I'm saying. That's my only objection to that.
Judge, it's your call.
So he can fuck himself.
I understand that the males have been out of work,
What do you say no?
both with the contracts and business.
Boys.
At this moment, I do believe that
He's gonna do
compensation
it.
is unnecessary.
Thank you.
You what?
That's my win for the night. That's all I have to say. That's my win for the night.
Okay.
Thank you
How's
for
that
considering,
not
Your Honour.
necessary? We could lose out on
Hey, they made a loss of
future
profits,
deals because of
dickhead.
this.
Thank you, Your Honour. I'd like to just thank everyone that's attended today and
Take
obviously
the L, lad.
thankfully-
Take the L. See you later, lad.
Hold that. Hey, boys. Boys, 10k.
Appeal the compensation, lads.
I have no contract. So how have they got a business?
Fucking appeal it, lads. Fuck that.
Jay Mouse,
Yo!
there's only one thing to say.
Yeah, I
boys.
get some shampoos in you, lads. Penguin, get some shampoos in you. Go on, out. You have some shampoos, boys. Hey, the fellas.
Oh, unbelievable. No worries. Thank you very much, mate. Well done.
Fuck the Babylon. Fuck the Babylon.
Fuck's sake.
Fuck the
Hello,
Babylon.
mate.
So it's been authorised by GC3 apparently for his sentencing. He skipped bail multiple times and he's refused to attend his court case multiple times.
Perfect.
That's
Sounds
the
good
reason
then.
why he's been sentenced.
Okay, no problem.
You did well, mate.
Yeah, obviously, lads, thank you everyone that attended today. Hope you all enjoyed yourself at least. I certainly did. Regardless of the results, we still showed ourselves in good light. So onwards and upwards, and we move on to the next one, lads.
No problem.
Let's get back out into the city and enjoy yourself and keep the city nice, safe and sound. No worries, lads.
Lads, big work, mate.
You slayed that, man.
I'm really surprised.
Yeah, me too, mate. But
I
here's what it is.
Someone's
got to help me.
My voice just stuck on. I don't know how I can fix it. Someone's got to help me here.
Go on, what's up?
You're gonna take a long flight then out, mate.
There's a massive
border though. It's gonna be
Oh, that's a
crazy.
shame, isn't it?
What's your issue?
My voice box is stuck on. Like I physically cannot turn it off.
Yeah, that's a city.
I also think we may have a dead male in the back of the room.
Yeah, he doesn't look very good, does he? Yeah, we might have to get him out of there.
GC2, I thought we had them there, mate.
Mate, honestly, I thought we had enough evidence. Even you know what we found in the only win I'm taking from that is the compensation part.
100%.
You know, we're not gonna give them compensation for loss of earnings because their business had issues in there. But you know, it is what it is. I enjoyed myself nonetheless. I had a good time. They got a result that some people may say is wrong, some say right. But at the end of the day, the whole situation was because we had a good time.
Aye, I mean, realistically, I think it's quite strange how the judge never accepted the fact that King's Records wasn't open on the 12th, yet they said that you know, they were supplying props on the 12th to them, which I thought was quite strange, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that's the situation that I was a bit, you know, the whole reason they had props in there was because of that, and the fact that there was no contract.
Yes, that's the thing that got me super confused.
What we got?
Judge bypassed that part.
I mean, Ricky, mate,
Yeah, no problem.
you're
Take
one of the
care,
owners of Kings.
FIFA.
I mean, like, what
It
can I
is a
say?
good
I mean,
RP scene
No,
for everyone to
nothing
watch.
was
Hopefully
saying.
everyone enjoyed themselves,
As
regardless of the
one
result.
bigs, I don't even
I'm
think
not
he should have
interested
been
in the result necessarily.
all.
I'm just
He's not up at
interested
the
in the
stand.
RP.
Should
Now,
have
of course,
everybody
in
who's up at the
RP,
stand talking,
my
but he was talking about
character
how
will be
he
annoyed
wants to
because he's
have
lost.
our usage of
But
the
for
record
me,
label,
I don't
which
give a
we've
shit.
said.
As
Okay,
long as
cool,
you guys
that's
have
something
enjoyed
we can do
yourself,
in the future.
as long as
Was anything
Idamus
signed for?
and
Was anything paid
Mousy
for?
have also
No.
enjoyed
It was
themselves,
just
had a really
okay,
good
we'll do it in
time.
the future.
It was
How many
great.
times have
That's all
people
that
in the city
matters.
said, well, okay, we'll do it. and
Appreciate
never
everyone with
do
the kind words as
Or
well.
they'll
Thank you.
let it happen in the future.
It
Nothing
is
was
what it
signed or
is.
paid
We
for.
sometimes
I mean,
win, sometimes you
realistically, the
don't.
props
So
that they,
at the end of the day,
you know,
it's a
that
W
you
in the
requested
Scora
from-
City eyes. That's the main thing.
What props? We've never requested any props. That's the thing.
That's exactly
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
exactly, exactly. Keza, thank you
That's
very
what
much
I
for
think
the
is a
follow.
little
Hope
bit
you're having a
of-
wonderful day.
You know what I mean?
Also, let's catch
Well,
up.
more than
Thank you
miscommunication,
very
I think
much
there's a little bit
to
of
Miss
sneaky,
Victoria
sneaky work
for the
going on
gifted
here.
sub.
Yeah.
Thank you to Danny B
Because
for
whole
the
thing
sub.
is, as I said,
Thank you
Bailey's
also
not signed for
to
it.
Sean
I've
for the
not signed
4
for it.
gifted
Anything
subs.
Bailey
That's
signs, I
unreal.
sign,
Thank you ever
apart
so
from
much.
obviously
You're much
because I've been
appreciated.
busy.
Absolutely love you guys.
Incarcerated,
Appreciate you coming
unfortunately.
in and enjoying yourself more than anything.
When obviously Bailey flew out away on
I
holiday.
mean, you've made some wrong decisions, Ricky, I must say, pal.
I know, but I'm improving. I'm improving.
That's it, that's it.
But no.
I mean,
especially, I thought
It's-
we
it's
had him
kinda-
when we
it
had
kinda,
that
like,
situation
for me,
where
wise,
Ricky come up
seeing
and
it's a,
said
like,
about that scene.
candidate
I was
mayor
like, right,
standpoint,
we got him
that's
bang to rights
something
here, and then
that
oh,
I'm gonna
gutted.
have to, like, something like that. I think it seemed quite dodgy, even though it's a whole case of the mayor should have took that on board. He didn't say that in his closing statement. Anything about Kings.
Yeah.
Didn't mention anything about that it was closed and they had usage of it. None of them had usage of it. So we've never. There was a party once and those members of Del 5 were inside at the party.
Yeah.
But we've never had a written statement or confirming that they would definitely be able to use it. No one's been given any contract to use it. Biggs is doing it as word to word, not black and white.
Well,
how
it
come you never
looks
set
like
up and said
you.
anything with it, mate?
Yeah, it looks like you may need to then look to put everything in writing. If things like this happen and we found stuff like that in their warehouse and they are making props, if we found stuff within the props, which is which is what we have found, if they are producing them for you, then you may be very careful because obviously.
No, we've not made a contract. That's the whole thing.
No, but what I'm saying is, if it ever has a contract, obviously it would need to be made sure and legit, because otherwise we'd end up becoming for King's Records, because if there's illegal items found inside, then of course that's the whole issue. Congratulations, CJ. Should we go for a beer?
Apparently there's an after party I've been invited to.
Oh, wicked, cool. So should we just go for a beer and obviously celebrate a good case?
I know. I think I'm my throat's all closed up. I might be dying of thirst soon, so I need it.
Yeah, let's go for one, shall we?
Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations for myself as well.
I'll let you boys enjoy yours day,
Perfect.
and we'll see you probably this next.
I just need to go and speak to the judge in his office. Apparently.
No problem, Mr. Bagwell. Do you know if your pizza place is open?
It's not open right now because we're refurbishing.
Fucking
at this
hell.
point in time. 'Cause unfortunately, I'm the only one in the city who's an owner right now, and I've not got any staff there to get, obviously, my chefs. I'm fucking shit in the fucking oven. It's the chefs that need
Okay.
to be there to actually do the stuff. But
No
I can
worries.
get a wee phone call out, and maybe they may be available tomorrow.
Okay.
I just need to talk
No
talk
worries.
to them with restrict. I shall take Mr. Gambino because he appears to be asleep.
No worries. Thank you. Take care. Mr. Flank.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Good. Is our car still down there?
No, you might have to.
Alright, cool. That's fine. I'll do that.
I've come to pick some of these up, anyways.
Are you just leaving you?
Yeah, we're all done.
Cool, no problems. We're just locking the place up.
Good man. CJ, do you want to come for this drink?
Apparently the judge needs to speak to me about something.
Alright, cool. I'll wait down in the car park for you then.
Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
So yeah, we had it was a good scene in the end. They managed to walk free. Fair play. It was one of them. If there was a different judge, would it have been the case? Who knows? But all we know is Scora had a good. Okay, well, I can't get out just yet. I've got to wait. See if we can go out this way. Actually, the problem is. All right. It seems like the door's locked over there.
Oh, is it?
I'll wait for the person to come down and lock us up.
No worries, no worries.
Del 5 on top, definitely Del 5 on top after today. Thank you very much, everyone coming in and obviously applauding.
Run it off a wee bit, know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Nice.
So yeah, it was really good fun. Really enjoyed it, regardless. So it's, I believe the lawyers do. It's the lawyers' place. This.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go to area meeting. And you just want me to drop you off at PD, mate?
That's fine. Don't worry. I'll sort my car out. Don't worry.
I'll take them.
200.
Got standing here as well.
100 lawyer.
Wow.
There we go. It's alright, I'll grab my car from the garage here, it's not a problem. I'm gonna take the lawyer out for a drink.
Oh, he's definitely gonna pull.
He's obviously just paying the lawyer. The lawyer's just paying the judge, isn't he? He's just said the judge needs to speak to him, so I'm gonna pay the lawyer. I'll pay the judge. But no, it was really good. It was really good fun. I don't know how any of you, I know Made of Love and Amaka, Gabs, you're all in Idamus's and Mousie's chat. How was it from their perspective? I'll be interested to go back through the VOD and see their opinions on each and every scene that we had, or every stage. You know, when I was questioning Montana, was he ever stumped at any point, or what was he saying off comms, stuff like that. So I'd be interested to know. No way, really? Over 900 viewers. That's incredible. That's really good for the city. That's what I'm saying. It was a W for Scora at the end of the day. That's the main thing. Police didn't get their, police didn't get it. Hello, mate.
Come on.
I'm just waiting for the lawyer. It's only right that we celebrate with a drink, or not celebrate, but you know what I mean. End on a drink. You know, can you find out if Burger Shot's available?
I think he's fucked up with his mate, if I'm honest.
No, he's upstairs talking to the judge. Maybe paying the judge. What do you think of it?
Fair enough, but I think we had more evidence than they could provide.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it gave.
Their story didn't add up, so.
No, they gave character references of their characters from past. All were the fact that they've law-abiding citizens, blah blah blah, and proves they exactly wasn't. We found stuff on their premises that they are responsible for. Again, all linking to previous.
All we got to do is just watch them more now.
Yeah, of course.
No, we're good.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, the other aspect is we watch them, but not only that, we got the win with the no compensation, so they got allowed free. They got released off bail, but we move on. Yeah, not guilty was the outcome, Jerry. Absolutely ridiculous. Scot-free, nothing, not even like a 10-month sentence for you know, being in possession. Yeah, it's one of them, innit? Here we go. Gonna jump in.
I got a plan.
Yeah, that's fine.
You don't need to worry.
How are we?
And I like it, put it that way.
No worries. Just thought I'd obviously take you out just as a well done more than anything. I think it's only fair at the end of the case just to congratulate yourself.
Yeah, there's no animosity between us two at the end of the day. You know.
No, of course. At the end of the day, we wanted to make sure that the case was a good one from both parties. I felt we both gave good accounts. Personally, I think that there was more evidence stacked up than the judge agreed on.
Yeah.
You know, even a possession charge for having possession of these items on their property, you know, being owners of the property, thought even that may have been sufficed, but the fact that they got scotch-free from all charges was a little bit... Sorry, Sean, I want a burger.
I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting a full all non-guilty of all charges, to be honest.
No,
the one thing what didn't help is the other lawyer or the other judge just had a head pop and just didn't come back.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I saw in the case notes that something happened. That he switched lawyers, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They switched lawyers, but it is what it is. Any lawyer. That's why I said I would have wondered whether a different lawyer would have come up with the same outcome or taken more into consideration. It just seemed like whatever the police come up with, that wasn't, you know, it didn't happen. It was avoided or whatever you want to say.
Do you know what the hardest part about it probably is, from your point, is the fact it was what we spoke about, thinking that it's not what is there isn't there, if you know what I mean. Like what you found wasn't found. If there was obviously, it's amazing. If you could get the
welcome in, Ennis,
DNA off of it,
Mike, Nathan, thank you very much. Welcome in, Rustance as well. Jaden, Nicole, Kezat, welcome in.
It's open. And usually it's bloody closed.
I know. Yeah, it's disappointing, right? It's on me. What do you want?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
How you doing?
It's amazing.
I just need something with a drink, really, because I haven't got.
Can I have 3 meals with 3 drinks, please?
I'd have 20 dozen donuts.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Yeah,
are we talking big meals or small meals?
You hungry or you not that hungry?
I think some donuts, mate.
Yeah, I'm quite hungry.
Right, yeah, we'll have 3 big meals and what? Dozen donuts, please.
20 dozen.
20 dozen, jeez.
20 dozen, you mad?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
No, the boss ain't paying.
Taysom, thank you very much. Bill, welcome in as well. Elisa.
Right, okay.
Ellis, thank you very much.
I'll put some
from Jay Sat, some good RP there. Yeah, it was really good to watch. It was nice to see. For the RP perspective, the Scora City, apparently there was over 900 viewers across all the streams, so that's the main win of the night. Obviously from police point of view, I felt it was a little bit unfair on the outcome. Like it wasn't even like a school possession charge or anything. But then I'm not bothered from my perspective because I really enjoyed the scene. I hope Jay did. I hope Mousy did. Not sure what they were saying. He had 300. Wow, that's a big W. Huge W. Really good to see.
Okay, so bear with me 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was having about 50, which was great for me as well. So I'm not sure what Mousy got, but I'd be interested if you guys tell me how he was around the whole situation, what he was saying out of his head.
3 Heartstoppers.
Was he enjoying it? Was he annoyed at certain parts?
4,500 today, sir.
Perfect, no problem. Happy to pay on the interact?
Yep, on the till.
There you are, it's paid.
What drinks would you like with the Heartstoppers? You have 3 choices of drinks and you have 3.
What we got drink wise?
So we have cola, Sprite, and then slushy. You can choose either one.
I'll take a slushy. I'm a big slushy fan.
What about your other officers? What would they want?
John?
Sprite, please, mate.
Sprite. CJ, what would you like?
You pick for me, please.
I'll have a slush as well, then, please.
Cooking. There's 2 or 3 lads. If you
Here we
didn't
go.
see.
And I'll put your order on the collect to your point. So that is
perfect. Thank you.
2 slushy, Sprite, and 3 Heartstoppers. Okie dokie. There you go. It's in the collection area, sir. Have a nice day. Hope you enjoy the meal.
You too. Take care. Archie, go through the cat flap. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Enjoy. Next here, please.
Right. You wanted.
Hello, sir.
Oh, what can I get for you today, sir?
Can I
And you
get
wanted a Sprite?
a heart stopper meal, please?
One Heartstopper meal. What drink would you like with that today, sir?
What kind of drinks you doing at the moment?
We're doing.
I hope the
slushy,
officer.
Coke and
I've only bought 3, so I hope
Fancy a slushy?
he's
Fancy a
not
slushy?
realizing.
No problem. One slushy come right up.
Oh, we've got seats.
The slushy comes with the meals. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Yum 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 yum.
Do that.
Use your eye.
Yum yum yum
This
yum
is-
yum.
Oh wow.
When you're finished, do you mind just calling? I just need to speak to you about something.
No problem. It's gonna look a bit weird for a minute, guys. Yeah, I was a little bit shocked
Enjoy your
necessarily,
burger.
but thank you. A little bit shocked necessarily, but you know, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, I think the biggest factor is probably going to be that no one even read them the rights, which
He
is
was
just a
nicked
little
at
bit of a
first. Yeah,
slip
I
up,
thought he
really. I
was,
think
to be
that's
honest.
one of the biggest key is there. It's that
He was so nervous.
that
Good.
was just a
That's
mishap
what we
on the
wanted.
police's point, but I mean, I was shocked. I thought that they may potentially get one
Yeah.
charge at least, but
See, the thing-
so just to disregard
Yeah.
all of them is a little bit of a.
Excuse me. Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
go
on.
on.
I've got the donuts. I'll just
Oh
put them
yes,
into the back of
please.
the car.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot all about them.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Hold on a minute.
What
They're still
ended
in
up?
the stash.
How
They're
did
still-
it end up, CJ?
What's that, mate? Sorry.
Thank you,
How
mate.
did they
Appreciate
end
that.
up pleading?
No problem. Take it.
They got no a non-guilty plea of all charges.